Today's daf is daf Samach Dalid. We are going to begin on daf Samach Gimel Amud Beis by the Mishnah Ha'isha. The Mishnah starts off, Ha'isha Sha'amra, if a woman said to a shliach, Hiskabli Gittin, receive the get for me. In other words, be a shliach l'Kabbalah. And now the shliach l'Kabbalah says, I don't have the get. So, and as we know that the minute that the shliach l'Kabbalah receives the get, the woman is divorced. So the halacha is, the Mishnah says, the woman is going to need two sets of edim. Two witnesses who are going to need to say, in our presence, she said to the shliach that I want you to be a shliach le'elacha for me. And she's going to need to have another two sets of edim, to say that in our presence the shliach received the get. Vikara, and he tore it. So that's the din. If a woman says that the get says to shliach le'elacha, I want you to be my shliach le'elacha, and now for whatever reason the get is not found over there, we don't know where the get is, but she needs to prove that she appointed two edim to that she appointed the shliach to be the shliach le'elacha, and another two set of edim to say that they saw the shliach le'elacha receive the get and he ripped it up. The Mishnah says, this testimony is effective if two people are the first pair of witnesses, and you can also have the same two pairs, also the latter pair of witnesses. Or if there is one witness from the first pair of witnesses, and one witness from the latter pair. And one additional witnesses can join to them. So, in other words, you can have the same set to see both side the woman appoint the shliach to be the shliach l'Kabbalah, as well as the same set of witnesses to say that they saw the shliach l'Kabbalah receive the get. And as well, they can have one group from the first set, one group from the other. They can all be mistar. Now the Gemara says, Itmar. It was stated as follows. Baal oimer, if the husband says that lipikoden. Let's say a third party has now the get, and the husband says that the get that he gave to the third party was the pikoden. It was a deposit for safekeeping, and the purpose was not to deliver it to his wife. And if the purpose is not to deliver the wife, so the get is not effective. The shalish aimer, however, the third party says, that who's the shalish says, the gerushin, it's not true. The purpose of why you gave me the get was to divorce your wife. So now the shaila is me neman. Who do we believe? Rav Huna says Baal Neman, Rav Huna says the husband is believed. If Chizda argues and says shalish neman, the third person is believed, and therefore the divorce is a good divorce. Now the Gemara explains. Rav Huna says that the husband is believed. Why? Because if it's so that he gave the third party, the sholish, for the purpose of divorce, so if he gave the third party for the purpose of the divorce, he would have given the divorce directly to her. And like Rashi says, they're living in the same city. So why would he give it to the sholish? Apparently, he must have given and trusted it to the shalish just for pikadon, just for safeguard. Now, the Chizda says no. Shalish neman, the third party is believed. Why? Daham hemne, as the husband himself deemed him credible by being mafkid the divorce to him. Why would the husband give it to him? Must be for the purpose of divorce. So now the Gemara says, Rab Abba is going to bring the following Tosefta, which is going to be a shaila on Rav Huna. It's going to be an objection to the opinion of Rav Huna, who says that we believe the husband. Now, what's the objection? This is a Tosefta Bava Metzia. It says, "Hey, das baldin k'me'edin dami." We know that the admission of a person, the admission of a litigant, is similar to the testimony of 100 witnesses. Now, so in other words, if a person, the baldin himself, admits to owing money, so it's like k'me'edin dami. V'shalish ne'em mishneim, and the Tosefta says, and the third party is deemed more credible than the statement of both litigants. Kate said, how so? If one, let's say Reuben says that let's say Reuven, who's the creditor, says that who's the Malva says that the Leva owes him a certain sum. So who do we believe? Shalish Neman. So l'chedo, what do we see? This contradicts the opinion of Rav Huna, who says that the husband, not the third party, is believed. L'chedo, I see from here in the case of the Mamanis that when you have a machlekes between the Baal Din and the Shalish, I believe the Shalish. So l'chedo, it's a Shaila on Rav Huna. So the Gemara says, no, you can't ask the Shaila. Why? Shani Mamin, money is different. When you have a monetary choiv, it's different. Why? The Yisyovi Mechila. Because it can be forgiven. Since one can forgive a choiv outright, he can also accept upon himself to abide by the statement of the third party as to the sum of the choiv. Therefore, even if the third party deviates from the truth because it's a case involving money, they accept his determination. Because money can be meichel. So he's meichel and he says, I trust the third party. However, you can't bring proof in the case of divorce as there's no possibility of mechila with regards to divorces. The Gemara says, Vatani mechila Gittin, but isn't it taught, and likewise is the halacha with regards to Gittin? The halacha is that the third party is always believed. The Gemara answers and says, when the Braita says mechila Gittin, it means Gittin moment. It doesn't mean actual Gittin, it means monetary documents. So the Gemara asks, Vatani mechila Shtadis, but it's taught in another Braita, and likewise is the halacha with regards to monetary documents. The fact that a shtadis are labeled, the fact that monetary documents are titled as shtadis, it must be that Gittin means Gittin is actual divorce. So I see that divorce, we believe the third party, the shtadis. The Gemara says, no, midi gabi hadati tanya. Are these two expressions taught together? If they were in one brisa, then you're right. But the fact that it's in two different brises, since there are two discrete brises, perhaps one is referring to monetary documents as Gittin, and the other is referring to status. Now the Gemara cites a raya with regards to the credibility of a shalish. We learned in a Mishnah, in regards to a woman who said, a woman said to a shliach, "Iskabali Giti, I want you to be my shliach lekabbalah." So what does our Mishnah say? So what did our Mishnah say? If a woman said that I want you to be a shliach lekabbalah, so the din is she needs to have two eidim that testify that she appointed a shliach lekabbalah, and she needs to have two eidim that saw that the shliach lekabbalah received the get. So the question is, v'amai? Why are the witnesses b'chal necessary? Lehemne shalish. Let us believe the third party to whom the husband handed we just said that a shalish is more credible. So why don't you have a set of eidim? Just the shalish for the husband handed the divorce should be credible, and you don't need to require witnesses. So the Gemara rejects and says, does the get emerge from his possession? Does he have the get? Such that it would lead one to deem him credible? The third party is believed only in a case where the item in question is under his control. As then we say, then he can do as he wishes. However, in the case of the get, it's no longer in his possession because he tore it up. So the credibility is attributed to the third party. So this that you want to believe the shalish is no longer relevant. So the Gemara asks and says, Tinach Omra. This works well in explaining why witnesses are required to testify that she said to the Gittin, to the Shlokim in their presence, Iskabali Gitti. However, Kibolomali, why do I need witnesses to testify that in our presence the Shliach received the get? From that point that the get was in his possession, no testimony should be necessary. So Marabu, who is this? Amani, this is Rabbi Lazar, which we've said many times, the Amr Edi Mesiri Karti. Rabbi Lazar says that it's the Edi Mesiri, who is the witnesses of transmission that take an effect. The divorce takes effect primarily by means of the transmission to the woman in the presence of witnesses. Therefore, witnesses are necessary to testify that the Mesida took place in their presence. Now the Gemara wants to understand, why do I need witnesses to testify that the shalish tore the get? We're talking about a period of religious persecution. In other words, when the government decreed that it's usher to write Gittin. Therefore, immediately after the get, they would destroy any evidence that a get had been written at all. Rabba says, he said that the husband is deemed more credible. Ravuna concedes that if the wife said That if the wife said, if one concedes that if the wife said, the third party said to me that my husband gave the divorce to him for the purpose of divorce, she's deemed credible. So the Gemara says, is there anything with regards to which, according to one of the third party himself, is not deemed credible? But the wife is deemed credible when quoting him. Rather, Rabba said that Huna agrees that that if she said, in my presence, my husband gave a divorce to the third party for the purpose of divorce, she is deemed credible. Why? Because her credibility is based on the principle of mikoi. In other words, which we know that if she wished, she could have said that the husband gave it to her and she was divorced. Therefore, when she says that the husband gave it to the shliach for the purpose of divorce, she is deemed credible. Now, the Gemara says, Baal Omer L'Girushin. If the husband said that he gave the get to the third party for a shliach for the purpose of gerushin. And also the third party says that the husband gave it to him to be a shliach to divorce. And the wife says, Nosanli, that the third party gave it to me for Obat, and it was lost. So Rabbi Yechlan says, have a davar shebe'erba, but this is a davar shebe'erba, and davar shebe'erba, pachas mishnayim. And we know when it comes to davar shebe'erba, there is, you need to have at least two eidim. So the Gemara says, why is this case one of suffix? But let us deem the third party credible. Let us believe his statement that the husband gave him the divorce for the purpose of divorce. So Gemara says, does this person now emerge the get from his possessions so that we should deem him credible? The Gemara says, but let one deem the husband credible. If the husband says, I divorced my wife, he's believed. So the Gemara says, he doesn't say that he divorced her. He says that he handed the get to the third party. The Gemara says, but let us say, famous din. But let us say that there's the chazaka that Rabbi Yitzchak said that if a person says, go and be mekadosh this woman, and the shliach died, so now this person is prohibited to all the women in the world, as there is a chazaka that a shliach does his shlichus. One relies on shlichus on the chazaka even with regards to matters of iser, because the identity of the woman is unknown. We'd be concerned with regard to all women. Perhaps there are relatives to the woman whom the shliach was mekadosh on his behalf. Where it says Hanimi l'chumra, that is l'chumra. L'kula, we don't say such a kula. But let one deem the wife herself credible. A woman who said to her husband, you divorced me, and then she believed, because there's the chazaka that a woman would not lie in the presence of her husband and lie. It says, this applies in a case where there is no factor that supports her claim. The chazaka is that she would not lie. In the case with a factor that supports her claim, as in the case that both the husband and the sholish claim that the husband sent the divorce, she would indeed be lying. Therefore, her claim that she was divorced is accepted only if she can produce the get. Next, Mishnah, Naida Hamoid also, with regards to my Naida, a betrothed young woman, she and her father are eligible to receive the get for her. And the divorce takes effect at the moment that either of them receives the get. However, the other, it says, two hands do not have the right to acquire an item on the behalf of one person. Only her father can receive the divorce. Any female was unable to safeguard her divorce, was unable to be divorced. What are they arguing? So he says this. The Eibishter grants the Naira Muras an additional hand beyond the hand of her father who can receive the get on her behalf. The suburb came of yad delila laf klumi, and be the holes in a place where her father is alive, her hand is nothing, and she is ineligible to receive the get. The Mishnah says, and any woman who is unable to safeguard her get. So, Tana Bar, we learned in a Brisa, Ktana Idas Lishma's Gita Miskoneshes, a Ktana who knows how to safeguard her divorce can be divorced. But Sheni Idas Lishma's Gita, as somebody does not know how to safeguard her divorce, in Miskoneshes. Vezi Ktana Idas Lishma's Gita. And what is a minor who knows how to safeguard her divorce? Called Mishamer's Gita with our Acher. Any minor girl who safeguards her get and something else. What is the Tana saying in the statement? What does it mean? Something else. Any minor who safeguards something else due to her divorce, she lost her get itself, but she guards something else that she mistook for her divorce. That girl is a shaita. She keeps something else, thinking that it's the divorce. Means a girl who distinguishes her get and something else. If one gave a child a pebble and he throws it away, so what happened here? Person gives a child a pebble and he throws it away, and one gives a nut and he takes it. In other words, he's capable of distinguishing between items of value and worthless items. So the law is he acquires property for himself, but he's not acquired property on behalf of others. However, if the child develops to the extent that he is given an item, and he returns it to its owner later, because he understands the concept of ownership, he acquires property both for himself and on behalf of others. Vila continues, when I stated that Rabbi Asi's halacha before, he said to me, this and that are one. So the Gemara says, "My dovada achasi." What is the meaning? This and this and are one. With regards to both this child and that child, each acquires property for himself, but does not acquire property on behalf of others. Chinina Vardain asks a shaila based on what was taught in the Mishnah. How does one merge the courtyard that opens into an alleyway on behalf of all the voice? So he says, so what does he do? He places a barrel full with the wine and says, this is for all the residents of the alleyway, and he may confer possession of the wine to other residents at the alleyway by means of an adult, a daughter, or by means of a Abdim Shechosei Yivnim. So Gemara says, Hi Shivcha Echidami. What are the circumstances of Shivcha? He does if she developed the stay Saudis, so now she's immature. My boy Kabe. What is she doing with the owner of the barrel? We know that this woman is who reaches puberty leaves. A lot of the Asher stay status must be that she doesn't bring stay status. So what do we see? A Ketana can acquire property on behalf of other people. And for the Gemara, Shani Shtufami voice. Shtufami voice is different than Rabbanan because it's the Rabbanan. Omra Chizda says, Doin was silent and had no response. The Gemara says, on the Maimer, what should he have said? So he says, he should have said, that whenever they institute something, it institute parallel to Torah law, and it did not innovate any new halachic models. And the other, why was he silent? He says, why do we say this word of kol the tikkun abon kidei raisa tikkun is something which has a ikar minatera of a little less ikar minatera, but something which does not have, like for example, from a voice does not have a ikar minatera, then we don't say that.